You know, my father used to say, whatever you do, do it 100%. When you work, work. When you laugh, laugh. When you eat like it's your last meal.
Hey, bada bing.
I will say, 10 minutes into this movie, I've never wanted Italian food more in my life.
I've never wanted to not be a vegetarian more.
Like,
in my life.
couldn't imagine being a vegetarian, honestly. That's such a different willpower that I can't imagine doing it, honestly.
It's emotional because my choice is emotional. At the end of the day, it's easier. I will say maybe if I was a vegetarian 10 or 15 years ago, after eating all the Italian food that we see in the Green Book, like that was what our family events look like. I don't know, because Beyond Beef has a good Italian sausage, at least that I think. There are some places that have like mimicked chicken drumsticks pretty decently. Does it taste like Kentucky Fried Chicken? I'm not sad it doesn't, because there's like, sometimes you get a greasy, gross feeling.
And also like KFC on a back road in Kentucky is different in 1950 or when did this take place?
1962.
1962 is different than
different, bro. And then when they served it at the plantation, that fried chicken looked so good.
It looks very good.
And then when Viggo just grabs the sausage as she's cooking, dude, it's the dream. And then he's eating sandwiches. I can't even. He's Joey from Friends. Tell me you've watched Friends. Are you one of those?
I've never watched Friends.
I knew it. I think you said that before. You know what the next podcast we're gonna do is?
No, that sounds one. There's I'm not saying there's not a million Lord of the Rings podcasts or
Oh, we're in a saturated field for sure.
But I think there's at least 10 times as many Friends podcasts and. Sure. And what is it like? I'm guessing, what's the podcast called? I'll podcast for you, or something like that.
I'll podcast for you. Yeah, that's it. See, it just from Okay, well, look out for that in 2025, folks. So because people are insane on YouTube, it's still being voted for. There's 155 votes.
What?
I don't know how people are even seeing this.
That's crazy.
It's actually kind of insane. Also, welcome to all of you new followers and friends that have found us from covering the trailer for Rings of Power. Ben and I, on this podcast of the Rings, are busy going through the Fellowship's actors' best work other than the Lord of the Rings.
Outside of Middle-earth. Beyond Middle-earth, we are
Beyond Middle-earth. Until we get to the beginning of season 2, and then we become that podcast again, where we are going to cover that episode by episode. Until then, we are now on Viggo, and we had to watch the Green Book. And
yes, the choices, for people that weren't aware, the choices were Green Book, The Road, Eastern Promises, and Hidalgo.
Hidalgo.
Yes, the big two misses are
G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane and History of Violence. I know those are.
That's the one you were really pulling for. The History
He's a big Cronenberg guy. So
right. I think if I never see a Cronenberg thing ever in my life, but was David Cronenberg it? Is that right? Or The Thing?
No, that's John Carpenter.
Okay, it's definitely that vibe, though, right? It tends to
He's definitely a body horror type of dude, for sure.
The only thing I know about Cronenberg is how much they refer to him in
Rick and Morty?
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
So, I remember when Green Book came out. I remember that it got the Oscar. I unfortunately, while watching it, was going, is this an Oscar movie? And I forgot that Viggo was playing Italian. Because I remember bringing it up to a casting director, I brought up to a casting director that I was Italian. She goes, "Oh my God, have you seen the Green Book? It's incredible." And I was like, "Oh, okay, no, I don't know." And you know what, Ben? Hot take: I didn't hate this movie.
No, there's certain moments where you're kind of the entire fried chicken part.
It's a pre-2020. Well, listen, if this is a movie that's about
the family literally came out and said that Don Shirley had fried chicken before he met Tony. The family literally said that because it's in the trailer. And I'm just like you. I did see this in theaters because this was when I was doing my YouTube channel. Like,
did you? Okay.
Yeah, I saw this, and I remember seeing like the trailer's a big nothing burger. Whoever cut the trailer together did not do this movie really any favors. Where I was like, oh, okay, and I knew who both these actors were. Mahershala was still on the come up. Like I think this was right after he won for Moonlight, so I was like, oh, it's the guy from Moonlight. I really like him. And obviously Viggo's Viggo. I was like, oh yeah, he'll always be Aragorn to me. But he'd done Eastern Promises and History of Violence and plenty of other things since then. But I remember the trailer and be like, oh okay. And then I saw the movie and I was like, oh, you know what? There are some really nice moments in this movie, but I'd read all the reviews beforehand. I'd kind of not shape my opinion, but it kind of like leaned in the direction of like, okay, what is quote unquote problematic about this movie? And the fried chicken scene is way too long. Like, he's like, oh, have it. No, I don't want to have it. No, just have it. Have it. And then the fact that it caps off with them being on a plantation and the guy's like, well, we knew you were coming. Fucking foghorn leghorn over here. We knew you were coming, so we had the kitchen staff prepare for you. And then, like, Viggo goes, I told you so. And, like, he was right the whole time. Like, oh, no. Oh, no. But no, like, if this movie didn't have these two guys in it, it would have been memed to death. It would have been... like, there would have been, like, a vampire epic movie type movie because of this.
Wow.
But these two actors did such a good job with this material. Mahershala in the rain, saying, well, if I'm not black enough, if I'm not man enough, if I'm not, rich enough, like, what am I? Like,
yep.
I think they both won. No, Mahershala won. And this is the year that Remy fucking Dentures ass Malik won for Bohemian Rhapsody. Like... so that was the thing.
Oh, they biffed a lot then this season.
This was the Star is Born year, with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, and I think that on it, maybe
they just didn't want to give it to Bradley Cooper. Although
Olivia Colman won for The Favorite, deserved, absolutely deserved,
right?
But I think
over Linda Cardellini. Are you kidding?
Oh my gosh, no. I think this is the Emma Stone year. Regina King won If Beale Street Could Talk, which
sure.
Amazing movie.
Sure. Have not seen it. Have not seen Moonlight. I just didn't watch movies. So.
Same director.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Definitely both very worthy watches. But this was a big, like, okay, Bradley Cooper's just never winning an Oscar because he should have won director and he should have won Best Picture and possibly Best Actor.
He shouldn't have won Best Actor, but he did a good job. I wouldn't have given him Best Actor.
Who do you have over him?
Out of what?
Rami Malek, Christian Bale from Vice, Willem Dafoe, Eternity's Gate. I haven't seen it, can't lie.
No.
Or Viggo from Green Book.
You probably give him Bradley. You probably do.
It's not that I'm not saying it's the strongest year, but I did like his performance in the movie.
It's not bad. It's just so ham-fisted.
Did Sam Elliott
win?
What
did Mahershala win?
Mahershala won for Green Book. Sorry, yeah. Sam Elliott was nominated.
Supporting?
Best Supporting.
God, how he doesn't go up as Best Lead, I don't know. Because
Oscars are racist.
Well, do you know what I mean? No. So you have to not get, like, you have to go on your nomination trail. Like, you have to put it out there. Like, I'm
No, that's what I'm saying is that they knew he wouldn't win for lead. So they're like, we're going to put him in supporting. In the same way they did with Viola Davis with Fences, when she's obviously the co-lead with Denzel.
Wow.
And they put her in supporting because they're like,
wow.
I don't think she'll win lead, which is so shitty. It's just like the Oscars are so shitty.
Wow. Oscars so shitty. Hashtag. Because Viggo's is a caricature of an Italian man. Yes. Although I venture to guess the Vallelonga was like that.
I'm sure he had hints of it for sure.
I'm sure he was.
But like, I need to see a photo of him folding a pizza and eating it like that. Like there, because that's so random. It's one thing, eating the 30 hot dogs, sure. Eating the the sandwich for him, especially after the kind of snapping back and forth. Fuck you! I'm gonna eat your sandwich. Hell yeah, I'd do that too.
Totally. It's shitty, but totally.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at who was nominated for Best Picture. It's weird the thing doesn't have Best Picture; it just starts with actor. But the pizza is just like so insane. I'm just like, okay, this had to have happened. And that's why I was waiting for that picture, like, this is what happened, after Dolores and Tony stayed married. This is them at the Coco Cabana. They stayed friends. I was waiting for the folded pizza photo because that's like so insane.
The kids saw it though, because I realized that obviously Nick Vallelonga wrote the movie, so that's great. So I'm sure the kids knew Dad did that or something like that. I don't know. I've never seen an Italian do that.
I'm so tempted to try it, but you have to get a pizza that's like
can
not
do
cut.
that. And that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the scenario we go to see. We should have seen this. He goes to pick up a slice. He realizes it's not cut. And he just folds it then and there. That's the scenario under which, good for him though, man. He pounded that food. I want food so bad.
It made me so hungry watching this movie. And that's the thing. It's like we don't need to talk about the Oscars too much, but it's like so random and kind of telling that the same year that Spike Lee comes out with Do the Right Thing, Driving Miss Daisy won. And the same year that Black Klansman comes out from Spike Lee, Green Book wins Best Picture.
No.
It's like...
no.
And then I think he went viral for saying at the after party. Because he won for Best Adapted Screenplay. Like Spike Lee won an Oscar this year.
Wow.
And he was quoted as the British say, it's not my cup of tea. And then because, they were waiting for a quote and he that was the thing. That was the big thing is that Spike Lee, quote unquote, played the game that year. He didn't speak out against anybody. He wasn't going crazy. He did the campaign tour, like you're saying, for the Oscar, and he got it.
Wow.
So the Best Picture nominees were Green Book, Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Roma, A Star is Born, and Vice.
Yeah. I did see the Black Klansman. I think the only one I've seen out of that is A Star is Born. And I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I thought the music was great. In terms of prestige and movies, that movie had it, right? That movie had the prestige.
And that's the thing is that I understand, watching this movie, I do understand why a bunch of old white dudes voted for this for Best Picture. Oh, yeah, this is friendship. Yeah, I like this. But also, it's who was it? It was Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand in The Last Star is Born. So you have Lady Gaga turning in this really great performance. The song, the Deep End.
It's too good.
I remember I watched this. I went to a bar for an Oscar party, and they had the volume on and everything. And people were talking through all the nominees and stuff like that. I have a video. I think I took it on Snapchat. Is when I had Snapchat, so it's gone forever. But Jessica, the bar went dead silent when Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga sang. You saw them walk on stage together.
That's
you
a
saw
cultural event.
It is. Oh my gosh, are they boning? Are they gonna get together? Look in their eye. That can't be faked. And it was crazy. It was insane. And this was the last Oscars pre-COVID, so 2019, and so it was an insane time.
Wow. Quick side note about A Star is Born. I guess it was one of my first solo flying events. I didn't fly much up to this point. And A Star is Born is on the plane. You can watch it. I started immediately. I'm okay. I was morbidly curious what the movie was going to be like, because part of me is also jealous of Lady Gaga. I don't know if you're seeing a trend. Jealous of Scarlett Johansson, Scarlett of Lady Gaga. Jealous of Lady Gaga. Anyway,
see, that's a different. I can be jealous of people, but I feel before I ask, can you sing and write songs?
Oh,
and stuff
I do.
Like that?
I was a very good singer-songwriter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I just don't have the calling for it. Yeah. And meaning at a certain point I was I don't need to do this. I was in a band. My songs were very good. Lady Gaga has something I didn't, which is just this fervor and passion, and she knew who she was at 20. But her and I had actually a very similar upbringing, being bullied in Catholic school, Italian, in some ways. So part of me was like, this, God damn it, she did what I wanted to do. We can exist in the same world together, and B, it was coming from a place, even my jealousy of Scarlett, it was coming from a place of not being successful and being jealous of somebody else because of their success, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, by the time I started actually fully pursuing my own dreams and careers and getting heavily into improv, my jealousy of other people, big and small, really fell to the wayside. So anyway, I'm working through my issues with Lady Gaga, watching the movie, and by the time within 20 minutes, it's within 20 minutes of the film that they're playing at the bowl, right? And she's singing the song, and I'm bawling.
It's a great movie.
And it's 20 minutes in. There's nothing even happening yet, and I'm bawling. And it's just as I start bawling, the stewardess comes up to me and she's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I said, "A Star is Born." And she goes, "I know." And I swear to God,
I love it.
I cried the entire movie.
See, that's I'm not saying that's a girl's moment to cry, but as a guy, when Sam Elliott backs out of the driveway after their final talk, I was in the theater oh. I understand why Mahershala won. He deserved the win. What were the other best? I think that was the stacked category was actor. Yeah, it was Mahershala, Adam Driver from BlacKkKlansman, Sam Elliott from A Star Is Born, Richard E. Grant from Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Sam Rockwell from Vice.
Love myself some Sam Rockwell.
Who doesn't? One of the most lovable.
Wasn't Vice a total whiff?
It was. It was I think it was Adam McKay's first movie since Big Short. And he tried to bring that. I feel like he's brought that same Big Short energy to his last few movies, and they just haven't connected like Big Short did. I don't know.
Listen, we talked about this in another episode. I did like Don't Look Up, but it doesn't, it makes sense that it was released on Netflix because it's not something anyone was going to go see in the movie theaters, even if it was Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo. Yeah, that's a really weird category. And I'm actually surprised Richard D. Grant was nominated too, but
yeah. I think Melissa McCarthy was nominated as well for her. I didn't see that one either. I didn't see Can You Ever Forgive Me?
So my overall take on this movie, despite well, I have two, but it's this is a movie pre-2020.
Yeah.
This is a pre-2020 we solved racism movie. It really is.
But it's just so crazy that the same year Green Book won, Black Panther and BlacKkKlansman are nominated for Best Picture. It's just the worst. If this was the year before, but it's just oh my God, yo. This
piece of history doesn't age well. Because this movie actually isn't making really good reflections on the struggle. But what I do like is he's not your atypical Black person in civil rights era that we understand. I like that it flips that experience on its head for us as white audiences. You know what I mean? It's just, I think this is what happens with films that end up being Oscar winners. We've never seen this before. And oh my God, a white man driving a black man? You know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of the visuals of it all. The other thing I think this movie sort of fails to do is explain well for the audience that doesn't know that up to a certain point, Italians were not considered white. Up to a certain point. That's why they had that problem in the Sundowner town. Now, that does not mean we're dealing with Tony Vallelonga as being discriminated against as equally. He's not. But that was what they were kind of expecting us to kind of know that. And that falls short of it. So those are my two takeaways. Is they didn't do a really good job setting up the fact that these are two men that experience discrimination on either side and have prejudices against each other, kind of. They did do that.
They touched on it, but for me, it's like the director. Like, this is Peter Farrelly, who directed like Dumb and Dumber and stuff like that.
I thought so. He's one of the brothers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, why? And there's like too quick a cut, and occasionally, which is also an editor issue. I don't know how it gets Best Picture. I really don't. It's not a bad movie. It really isn't. But my question to you is, how does Tony go from throwing the glasses that two black men drink out of away to being absolutely chill about the fact that he's a gay man in black? I don't get it. Like, he doesn't even have a coming to Jesus.
That's the thing, is that like I don't know if it, and that's the thing, is that this movie has zero subtlety except for the biggest arc of the movie, where he just like is eventually like
not racist,
or homophobic.
Is he? Here's what it feels like. Because again, half of my family is Italian. A lot of them were Italian men. I can vouch for the prejudice. I can vouch for how I was raised. But a lot of the Italians I know go, well, that guy's fine. But that's
what it feels like.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. And
well, I know this guy. He's fine.
Yeah, like the richest, most well-educated of any of the black people that I've ever met. Like, and the fact that like the last lesson he teaches is because two other black guys are going to rob them. And then they like, oh, I knew you had a gun. And like, yeah, it's a funny,
reveal.
End.
Yeah.
But it's like, did you like, you've had, I don't know, it felt like we've had too many mean white people in this movie. Let's even the score.
We're all human. Yeah. It's bad. It's just not, that's not the best. It's just not great.
It's also like, I needed, like, there's really good parts of them, like writing the letters together. And that's like amazing. I love that.
It's so charming, and that she knew.
Yeah. I also like Linda Cardellini doesn't ever age. Velma, like,
she could do whatever she wants.
At whatever she wants.
She can be whoever she wants. She can. Yeah. She's just fine.
Man. But also just like, and what a perfect couple where like, yeah, you could see these two people together, like the most gorgeous woman on the planet and this guy who just can't stop eating.
You know that this exists.
It's literally like Peter Griffin and Lois.
Sure. No, he's a good man. He loves her. He's
a provider. He's a protector. Like,
yes.
And that's what you needed in the 60s, man.
And I love that. She loves him. She loves the crap out of him.
And like, there's never oh, should you get a job? It's like, no, like, how are you gonna fix this?
You're
like,
right. And it is that era, right?
Yeah.
It is totally. And there's respect and love, and that's a beautiful thing. It really is.
So welcome to the new podcast, the Trad Wife Podcast, everybody. We're here.
Though I will plug one of the shows I do produce with Lois Mills over at Silver and Sensational. She did a whole episode on trad wives, and it was a great perspective because she's in her 70s, and she's like, didn't we fucking do a revolution to not be like this?
And that's the thing, like, if you are financially stable enough to be a stay-at-home mom, like, no one cares. Like,
she said it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's being a stay-at-home mom's a job. Like, no one's saying that, but like making this like, oh, we got to be I don't get not everything needs to be a culture war. That's the thing, is that everything, if you want to do something, do it. Like, it doesn't need to be a discussion.
I think it's all clickbait, and it's fueled by Sigma males. It's fueled by, I want a woman that doesn't take a picture of her ass in the fucking mirror, and I get to have a girlfriend, whatever. Let's see how that works out for you, bro. And yes, financially stable, stay at home. I'm jealous of you.
Right?
Go, girl.
I'm trying to hit up Emma Darcy and be a stay-at-home father.
Yo, but here's the thing. You can't tell me that all the fucking clicks you're racking up on TikTok isn't the job. It's a job.
It's a job.
Look at your kid.
Yeah.
Take care of your child. I don't know if you remember, there was a story of a mommy blogger. A mommy blogger was writing her blog, and God so help me, her child drowned while she was writing the blog. A mommy blogger. Oh, no. Listen, I know accidents happen, and that woman is entitled to be a blogger, but God damn it. You can't say you're this thing and not have a fucking fence around your fucking pool. I don't know. Anyway, we digress. I guess that's just it. It really bothered me that we get this really stark transition from his just vitriolic racism. Let's be honest, right?
That's the thing. That's like it's one thing. I don't want to like judge the levels of racism here. Well they're but they're at a fucking like He's Omega level red if they're literally throwing away utensils or glassware that black men have drank out of.
That's exactly like right.
That is DEFCON. Okay, is it DEFCON 5 that's the worst or DEFCON 1?
It's DEFCON
Whichever's the worst. Like, that is crazy levels of racism.
And then he goes, yeah, I'll drive. Even Linda says, you wouldn't last a week. And he's right. I love that he's like, for the right price, like, sure, for the right price, you'll last a week or whatever. And to go back to your earlier point about the fried chicken scene, it is actually uncomfortable how badly he's listening to him say, no, I don't want it. Like, it's
a tough scene.
It's very bad. So anyway, I think there's nothing more to say about this movie. Is there anything else you have to say, like an overview?
I don't want to be too negative because, like I said, the performance of these two men make this movie bearable.
It's Mahershala. I really haven't watched him do much because, again, we're you know me, not a movie watcher. Mm. He's wonderful.
He's so good, and this is like he won, the Oscar for Moonlight. Like he was like playing like a drug dealer that's like mentoring the young main character. Like Moonlight is 3 stages of this young man's life.
Gotcha.
Chiron, and he's in the youngest stage, and he's so good in it, and like that's how good his performance was. That he's only in a third of the movie, and he wins the Oscar for it.
Wow.
And so I was very happy when he won this Oscar, but it does say so much. Again, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face that this is like the perfect YouTube clip movie because this movie is just like, and I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, these are just like different little vignettes of times that Tony helped out Dr. Shirley. And then Dr. Shirley helped him out. But, like, there's not enough of Dr. Shirley helping him out besides, like, the letter writing. And because, like, if it would have been, like, the guy saying, oh, Tony Valonganese. And then the next time he would have been like, and Tony Valley. And Dr. Shirley would have been like, see? It rolls off the tongue easier. Like, there's, like, certain things that, like, I wish Dr. Shirley would have helped Tony out with more in this movie. Because it felt like... And granted, rich people can be sheltered, but it felt like Dr. Shirley's so sheltered, he doesn't know anything about the world. He's going into a white-only bar. He's getting caught at the YMCA with another man. He's,
What the fuck? Like, that kind of stuff is way ignorant. I don't know. Like, I don't care how much I don't know. I don't care how much sheltered you are. He knows the world. He can't be going into the world to make an impression like Nat King Cole did and then go into a YMCA and hook up with the guy, and not expect. Do you know what I mean? He's not an ignorant man to the way of the world. I kind of push back a little bit on your criticism, though completely valid. It actually really bothered me when Mahershala was trying to change Tony from being the Goomba Goomba and change his name. Like, because also in Italians were not the only people to experience this, but, I know of more personal stories. Names were changed as they came over into Ellis Island because they couldn't say it. For me, it's a story of two men growing to accept each other for their differences. And Mahershala, right at the bat's going, you aren't this, it's not who you are doesn't work kind of thing. But
for me, it's just like a stage name. Like, he's not asking him to go by Tony Valley every time he's introduced, just for the shows.
But we're watching. That's why I'm saying they didn't do a really great job of setting up the plight of the Italian also being discriminated against. And I kind of like that. Tony's like, fuck you. If you can't say my fucking name, whatever, go fuck yourself. I actually do like that. And the other thing I'm kind of elaborating on is that I think the way that quote unquote Tony's being helped by Mahershala is I totally lost my thought because I was thinking about the stone and how he tells him to return it, And I think Mahershala's in the wrong. And I love that Tony kept it. I actually was thinking during that scene, I was like, I bet you Viggo's just pretending to put it back because he's got to record this scene 5 times. Like, oh, cut, do it again. And I love that he actually kept it. I love that. I think he's just trying to culture him a little. And so he does help him. He's like, don't throw the... Actually, I love the beat where they throw the bones out the window.
Yeah, and he throws the drink. Yeah.
It's fucking great, actually. It was very funny. And then Mahershala makes him go back. Though that's how he's kind of just like culturing him a little bit. And so I do think it's kind of equal helps. But Tony's not going to get into trouble. He's just going to be social. And like, think about the, you know, he says... In his most direct possible way, you just stole money from these drivers that didn't have the choice like you did whether to be indoors or not. So think about that a little bit. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I agree, but it just feels like to me, like Dr. Shirley was too much of like gullible and like just maybe not gullible, but just like unawares of the like
that
he's driving through the deep south. Like
and to not know what a fucking sundowner town is. You have a green book, by the way, which tells you where you can go.
Yeah.
So you gotta know some things, man. You didn't read through the fucking book?
Yeah, that's fair. But I like, this is just like what I was saying, like just little vignettes are so perfect of just like the scene in the bar where he's like, oh, do you have a gun? And he's just like,
so
I don't know. But the first thing I'm going to do is put a hole right there. And it's great. And then, you know, like he's
when he smacks the piano guy.
Smacks the piano guy, and that's like his first thing.
That guy bleeds.
His ear bleeds. That's a slap, dude. Like his eardrum is ringing from that.
He never hears right again.
Yeah, he brought him like a tuba because he can't like. Oh, it's a Steinway. I don't know. But it's such a great cut after the slap to just be like Steinway.
To see the Steinway, I know.
Yeah, and then like even the YMCA scene, which is like uncomfortable, but it does show like his bullshit artist talents of like, no, I'm not bribing you. You guys work hard. Go out to dinner, buy the missus a new dress, and then you just see them like walk out. So there's some really good stuff in there that you can like, you don't really have to watch this whole movie. It is just like little clips. And like I said, I was getting these clips like on TikTok because like on TikTok, I'm like a 50-year-old dad. I'll get like Shawshank Redemption clips and all these like TNT movies. And that's the thing. This is the perfect TNT movie. This is going to play on TNT for the remainder of that network.
It's going to be Ferrari versus Mustang and then Green Book.
Ford versus Ferrari, yes.
Okay. So, do you still have Facebook?
I do. I don't check it that often though.
Well, because every time I accidentally get stopped, I get suckered in by the scrolling there. I've seen the entirety of Mrs. Maisel and never watched a fucking episode because this is what the era is now. Is they're just showing you full-on clips of these movies, which honestly is the best fucking advertising. It got me the other day. I was like, you know what I haven't seen because I just saw a clip of it? 4 Weddings and a Funeral. I guess I'll watch that. It's genius.
You know what's getting me is Suits. I get so many Suits edits, like where they're just like, you know, you'll hear like the slow bass in the background.
I don't know it's like shit about this show.
It's an actual lawyer. He's a very good lawyer, and then a guy. I think he's got like a photographic memory, and so he becomes like, you know, a lawyer retainer. And people are trying to find out like, oh, where'd you get your degree? And then like he'll photographic memory something. But there's one scene where the guy walks up to him and he goes, oh man, I can't imagine living in a world where we're not friends. And the guy goes, kill yourself then. and then like, just like, oh, what is this show? I need to watch it.
they're gonna get you, man.
It's on Netflix. And that was like a big thing about the writer's strike, actually, weird tangent enough, is that I think it was like 12 billion minutes had been watched from Suits when it dropped on Netflix. Because it was like a USA show. You know, only like, you know, 50 and over watch USA. They got The Burn Notice. They've got Royal Pains. They've got Suits. They've got all these like boomer shows that somehow gets like 7 seasons out of nowhere and everyone doesn't know about them. And then it came on Netflix and everyone's like, what is this? Like, this is and that's the thing. People miss regular network television. And we're going to talk about House of Dragon coming up next. And And so it just like it exploded, and I think one of the writers got like a 12-cent residual check or something like that for like 12 billion minutes watched on Netflix.
We're living in horrible times. That is actually insane.
Yeah.
All right, I think it's time to jump to the other side of this podcast where we ask the hard questions, and they are going to be
super hard questions.
Not easy questions for this one, especially if you've listened to the Beyond the Middle Earth series thus far.
Yes.
We'll see you there. Okay, welcome back to the other half of Beyond Middle Earth, Green Book, where Ben has...
Oh, someone make a Green Book with Middle Earth.
Ben's gonna ask us a series of questions that relate back to Viggo Mortensen being in this movie and how somehow make it relate to Lord of the Rings stuff, and we're gonna somehow cast the role of Don Shirley.
What stands out as the best moment for this actor?
Wow. I don't know. I mean, for you, it's got to be the pizza folding, right?
It's the pizza folding, or it's for me, it's the Steinway slap scene. Because, like, it's so... Like, you deal with people like that all the time, and, like, that's a moment where it's, God, I wish I had that. Where you're just like, not my problem. And
it's
then
really funny that you say that, because you just unlocked a memory. Speaking of Stars Born, when she just pops off in the bar and punches somebody, I want to do that. Ever since seeing that, I just want to do that so bad when the person deserves it.
That's the thing. Is that I'm not like saying like violence solves everything, but the guy's like, oh, like it's a piece of shit piano. Like I don't know, like not my problem.
The fucking trash sitting in there is egregious too.
It's terrible, and the guy, it's like just like the perfect like dream scenario. Like there's a clip from like a UFC where the guy like hits it's like a jab to the stomach, a cross to the face, and then he does like a spinning back kick and then knocks the guy out. And like someone quotes me as like, every single man on this planet has dreamed of doing this combo to someone they don't like. And it's so true. And that's this scene, like working, you know, I'm still bartending to this day. And it's just like people are just like, oh, well, what are you going to do about it? Boom. And it's like, he doesn't like keep going, you know, at the beginning, you know, we see him beat the shit out of that first guy.
Right. He went a little too far with that
Went a little too far with that, but just like one slap. And then that's it. And especially now, you know, Mike Tyson said it best. It's like the internet has made it too comfortable for people to say shit without the fear of being punched in the face.
Yeah.
And this is what we need. We all need a Tony Valley to just walk up to someone on Twitter and just fucking smack them.
My dad said 10 years ago, he said the nerds won. Because the nerds, he's not wrong. It's not right, but he's not wrong. I'm going to say the standout moment for me where my heart like really lurched and I sat in, you know, and leaned in was when Tony was touched by his ability. When he was like, oh, like this is fucking great. Like he didn't know what he was dealing with. And then when he was listening to him, you could see Viggo feeling that and loving the music. And so that really, really worked for me, especially being a musician. And I guess you didn't know that I wrote music. So my brother has Grammys. My grandmother wrote for Motown. It trickled down to me teaching myself guitar. My father plays too, and I wrote some pretty good sad guitar girl songs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Did pretty good at that. So yeah,
I will say we didn't talk about the ending. The ending gets me. It still gets me. The Christmas.
So have you ever seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
I have.
It's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
It's literally that.
And it's the saddest. It's the most. And then he comes. He actually comes. And
it's such a good beat too of like the pawn shop owner coming in, and then he goes to close the door, and there's Dr. Shirley.
It's beautiful, and you know he might not have knocked on the door if it wasn't open.
And it's so good. And just like, Sebastian Maniscalco doing his like, somebody get this man a chair.
No, I'm not racist anymore either. Yeah. I heard this guy's cool.
I just called him a slur 10 minutes ago asking about your trip, but now he's welcome.
we all showed up into the house because there was 2 of these guys when you weren't here. Yeah, it's too much. Anyway, everyone's
everyone's racism got cured when Viggo said, "Don't call him that." Oh, okay. I'll see the world in a new light. Okay.
Cannot even.
Bada bing.
Yo.
Racism's Gaba-Gone. Okay.
That's the best thing you've ever said.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Fuck. That's the tagline of on Sunset when you see the picture of them looking.
For your consideration.
Racism's Gaba-Gone.
That's great.
Fuck.
All right. Who in the Fellowship would you recast for Viggo Mortensen? I say Sean Astin.
Sean Astin.
I want to see big ol' cheery Sean Astin fold a pizza in half, be Italian with Linda Cardellini, and like it's so great.
Yeah, I genuinely can't. I don't think I'd cast any. Oh, you know what? Not from the Fellowship, but Keith. What's his face? Not or Carl Urban. That's him.
Oh, Carl Urban. Oh, that's a good one. I could see Carl Urban. That's good. I like that.
He's still got a soft and sweet enough face, but you can see him fucking slap some dude. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oi! Get the Steinway in it.
Okay, so I'm up for whatever. But yes, Steve, Sean, stop it. Stop.
It's just like he said it like as like a loogie. Oh,
is it like that the Miley Cyrus meme where it's like
yeah. It's just a big process. Like and for me it's the journey. Okay, Miley.
For me it's love you. Did you see the edit where it's someone taking a shit?
Yeah. All right, does Peter Jackson directing this movie make it better?
Yeah.
I think so. I'd like to see Peter Jackson direct like a human drama, honestly. Like he's a big spectacle guy and he's like a creature feature kind of guy. And now he's like really into documentaries.
He's good at telling stories, right?
He's good at telling stories and I want to see him try it, honestly. I think
I
do.
Because his, like, he even formulated Get Back really well. So he knows he could make this story feel a little less vignette-y too, probably. Yes. Vignetti is also a very good Italian. Vignette.
Could the main characters of this movie deliver the ring to Mount Doom?
Wow. No, because they quit at the end.
I think Tony Valley gets pretty far with his bullshit artist skills, though.
Together they do. Together they get far. You know, Mahershala makes it, Don Shirley makes it difficult. Just I'm talking based on how he's written here. You know, he makes a couple missteps. They end up getting sucked in by the Barrow Whites and they don't, whatever. Like some shit happens because Mahershala. But ultimately, he's not allowed to go into Mount Doom, so they have to turn around.
Mount Doom is absolutely a sundown town. Like, they're the most racist people in Mount Doom, for sure.
Sauron is racist, actually.
Absolutely.
Sure.
What are some other honorable mentions for this actor? And we talked
Viggo?
For Viggo, yeah.
Yeah. No, obviously, I'm sorry, just being redundant. I mean, here's the thing. I really want to see G.I. Jane now, and I was hoping we would do The Road. I was hoping we would.
And you haven't seen The Road, have you?
I happen to know the ending, I think.
Okay.
And I think it's because I watched the ending, but I have not seen The Road. I don't think
when you fought for The Road, like I was like, oh my god, Jessica, it's like the most. Like, you've seen post-apocalyptic movies before. You've never seen something so desolate, so hopeless.
I can watch that. I can watch.
It's a good movie, but it's on the borderline of, like, we've talked about those one-time watches, like Requiem for a Dream or Passion of the Christ. It's, like, right there. Like, I would have watched it and been probably like, okay, but it's a tough watch.
I imagine that that's the case. I morbidly have to watch it, and part of me tried to read it and it just didn't work. just because if it doesn't really suck me in, I'm not gonna push through it. I'm not that kind of reader.
That's fair.
I just liked that we were gonna potentially have the opportunity to watch it. Do you know what I mean?
No, like Viggo is probably the actor that has the most like really good options that we've covered so far.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That are his movies. Like, Elijah Wood has Eternal Sunshine and and Sin City, but those aren't like his movies. Viggo has the biggest case of I'm starring in this movie. My name is above the title. Like so far that we've gone through.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I didn't mention this sooner, but you saying that is helpful and reminds me that like I actually genuinely forgot Viggo was in this role. He really was so in on
He
this.
was.
Yeah.
He's very good in this movie. He deserved the nomination. I wouldn't have been mad if he won. I'm still upset that Rami Malek won for that movie. It's not a good movie, guys. That's not a good movie. Don't watch that. And
I
that
don't
movie,
ever
I will
need
say,
to watch that movie.
I will say the movie, they knew they didn't have a good movie. So when I'm watching this in a Dolby screen at AMC and the final 20 minutes are Queen songs playing at Wembley Stadium, it fucking got me.
And that's
you
why it won,
hear
right?
"We Will Rock You" and over Dolby speakers, while shout out to the actor, like he memorized the entire every movement that Freddie Mercury made on that stage, so it's very that's good.
Sure.
But it's just God, you walk out of the movie oh, that was good, and then you think about it for you come down off the high and you're oh wait, never mind, that wasn't very good.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing a clip of the movie and going, fucking 10 minutes for them sitting there.
If you didn't see it in theater, it's really not worth watching, because the only part worth watching is hearing Queen on the big speakers.
I believe it.
All right, and final question, the super fun one. Recast the Fellowship in this movie.
I don't think we can do this.
I don't even think there's enough parts, honestly. So let's cast all the racist checkpoints in the movie. So plantation owner.
I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this. I'm fine with skipping this question.
We're skipping this question because you know why? Here's why we're going to. I'm going to give us a bullshit artist reason. Because like you said, this movie wouldn't be any good if it wasn't these two actors, and so we're not gonna ruin this movie.
Yeah.
I am glad we watched it because I had an opinion of what this movie was like or going to be, and it surpassed that. It really did.
I'm also glad because the last time I thought about this movie outside of random clips on TikTok was that it was one of the worst Best Picture winners, especially in a year with Black Panther and BlacKkKlansman. I didn't expect Black Panther to win Best Picture. I'm glad it was nominated. It was a huge thing. It deserved that extra nomination. But to just go in the exact borderline opposite direction and have Green Book win was very insulting.
It has to be. It's like I said, it's very pre-2020 wokeism.
Yeah, it was a tough pill to swallow at the time. But you know what? It's a perfectly fine movie. It's a perfectly fine movie. I love the two performances in this movie. They really do save it. They don't just make the movie, they save the movie from being absolute utter lifetime movie trash.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, especially cuz it makes so much more sense getting confirmation that it's a Farrelly brother movie, because there's some cuts that are too quick, the beats are too quick, but then there's some really no, don't show, or show, don't know moments. There is some good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna pitch Ian McKellen for the next one.
I'm about it. Let's go.
And I think I've never seen X-Men, so we should watch X-Men.
So the first X-Men, or X2, or which one?
I'd like to do the first one if he's a prominent character.
He is.
Okay, so because if I'm gonna watch X-Men at all, I think I need to start with the first one anyway.
Totally fair.
We need to watch Cats. We need to put Cats on there because he's in Cats. I'm looking at it right now. There's another one that I was oh, that makes sense. I think Macbeth is his it's an amazing performance, and Judi Dench is in it.
What did he win his Oscar for? I want to know that.
Oh, look that up, because I was going to make a really selfish suggestion. Oh, he's in the Da Vinci Code.
Okay.
So I think we should put Da Vinci Code there. I guess here's what I'm saying. I think Macbeth is up there. I think Da Vinci Code's up there. The first X-Men, Cats. And he's got a cameo in Last Action Hero.
Oh, he's Death. I know
yes.
that. Yeah.
And but he's in it too little to actually do that. But I want it to do it so bad.
No, stop that.
I know.
Okay, list of awards and nominations. Okay. Gods and Monsters for leading, and we got nominated for Best Supporting and for Fellowship. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think I did know that.
All right, so Gods and Monsters is for sure one of them because he got nominated.
Okay.
Oh my, we can't do the death cameo in Last Action Hero.
But we have Da Vinci Code, which you gotta do.
Sure.
You have Cats, which you gotta do.
No, we do not have to do Cats.
You have to do Cats. It's a defining role.
He is a supporting role in that movie.
You have to do Cats.
He's Richard III in Richard III.
No.
We have to do these actors' biggest movies.
Is Richard III the biggest movie?
He is a writer and starred in it, so yes.
God.
We don't have to decide right now, but like...
All right.
I agree that we got Da Vinci Code, we've got Gods and Monsters, and X-Men. So
I'm trying to light the internet on fire.
Cats is not gonna do that. Like, so you're just trying to rage bait?
And we gotta get those clicks one way or another.
Jessica's trying to do the new Twitter now. She's gonna buy us a blue check mark any day now, guys. I promise.
I just might. All right. We're doing Ian McKellen. If you have some thoughts before Wednesday, hit us up with them, tweet at us, message us. There's several different ways you can get in contact with us, including emailing us at podcastoftherings@gmail.com, going to patreon.com/podcastoftherings, joining for free, or joining at our $5 tier for 7 days for free. Just give us a like, see if you enjoy it. And if you don't want to stick around, you don't have to. Yeah. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter, and you can message us there, or tweet or message us. Tweet at us, and you can X at us and let us know if there's an Ian McKellen movie we should or shouldn't watch. And if they're listening to us on podcasts or watching us on YouTube, what should they do, Ben?
YouTube, leave us a comment if you feel so inclined. What do you feel about Green Book? YouTube, you got us here, so you wanted us to watch this movie.
You better fucking say something.
You better give us at least a thumbs up on this video, because boy, we had to dance around some things. Two white people talking about Green Book. It's pretty crazy.
I think we did a pretty good job.
I think we did a good job as well.
I wasn't
dancing. But let us know, like, what do you guys think about it? Obviously, we got X-Men in there. That's his other, like, huge franchise. And I'm okay with doing the first one. I just talked about all the X-Men movies with Ulrich on Geeks with Shields, and Deadpool and Wolverine just came out, so we got a X-Men's in the mainstream again right now. So very excited for Ian McKellen. Leave us a like, leave us 5 stars on any podcast form that you guys feel like. That's free, but definitely check us out on Patreon. We're about to do our House of the Dragon finale, and they just announced that season 3 is 2026. Let's start the waiting process, y'all. But in that waiting process, we are going to be rewatching Game of Thrones every week up until then. So we might finish the whole fucking show before season 3 of House of the Dragon comes out. So come watch us, listen to us over there. $5. I know your money can be spent elsewhere, but we make some pretty good content over there, y'all. Good content.
If you sign up at the $10 tier and get yourself an elf ring, you could get shouted out occasionally when we remember, like we're supposed to, for Jesse Glass.
You could just say Arsenal Roy 2K.
Arsenal Roy 2K. Thank you so much for supporting us there.
Very, very thank you.
Until next time, Ben.
May our paths meet again.